Welcome to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Lake Michigan may be icy. Look at that scene, but snow is not expected to be a factor as two of the greatest quarterbacks in league history do battle. The frozen tundra at Lambeau will definitely be chilly. Forecasts are for temperatures in the 20s, but 9,000 fans will do their best to keep the Packers feeling warm. Championship Sunday is here. This is Fox NFL Kickoff.
A true legacy game transcends its era. That's why this matchup needs no introduction. As the golden age of quarterbacks concludes, two faces remain. We know the characters, the stats, the stakes of this story.
40 ages, used to be bravest. I used to be young, but now life feels so dangerous.
Who's gonna be the big dog with me?
It's about honor. It's about respect.
It's once in a generation. A steely successor, driven by the standards of his own raw talent.
Rodgers running, and he's in!
Facing the greatest of greats, ruthless in the pursuit to eclipse his own records.
14 conference championship appearances.
But somehow, there's still more to prove.
14 faces, 2 stages.
After all these years, Brady,
60 minutes of our best.
Rodgers,
You guys got a good team.
See, baby,
head-to-head for legacy at Lambeau.
Welcome to Fox NFL Kickoff, presented by IBM.
I mean, how much fun does that look? We are now down to the NFL Final Four. We got the Bills, Chiefs, Bucks versus Packers. And as for that NFC game, it should be one for the ages. Looking at the numbers, there really isn't much left for either of these two to accomplish. It's a matchup unlike any we've ever seen. Welcome, everybody, to Fox NFL Kickoff. I'm Carissa Thompson, alongside Tony Gonzalez, Mike Vick, the coach Dave Wonstadt, and Colin Coward. We finally made it, you guys.
Yes,
finally. Just saying how fortunate we all feel. Yeah. And kudos to the NFL and every player and every coach and personnel that was able to get through this entire season.
Absolutely.
It's a job well done, and it culminates in Brady's Rodgers on our air. And then, of course, the Bills and the Chiefs later on. And let's make it clear, though, you guys, the Battle of the 12s isn't the only headline this morning. There are a dozen other reasons why today is going to be great.
Championship Sunday. Not just one big game, two. In the AFC, as Bills fans face a familiar foe from their playoff past.
Congratulations, Buffalo.
This may be the championship rivalry for years to come. Allen versus Mahomes. What more could you want? Well, how about a little history?
Patriots win the Super Bowl. Packers.
Okay, a lot of history.
It's all about winning, all right?
Greatest of all time. Plural. Brady, Rodgers, Lambeau Field. And a chance for Tampa to be the first team to ever host a Super Bowl. But quarterbacks aside, even the biggest of stars need help to shine bright.
Touchdown. Good luck trying to cover this.
4 teams left standing. It doesn't get any better than this.
And it's a little ironic, right, Tony, that Tom goes down to Tampa, and now he ends up right back where he started in cold weather. Guys had a ton of success in cold weather games. Kind of fun to watch this.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. We've been watching him as he's been walking into the stadium every week, going in the Tampa. He's got his sunglasses on, his tan skin, and now he's back where it all started, where it gets cold, back in the frozen tundra. It's good to see him here, just soaking it all up out there in Lambeau Field. But I'll tell you what, cold weather obviously is not going to affect Tom Brady. It's not going to affect Rob Gronkowski. They've been there, done that. But the rest of the team that I'm concerned about, being from California, when I played out there, I had to play in Lambeau Field in December, and it is shocking. When you come out and that weather hits your skin and your cheeks, you haven't been practicing it all week. That is going to be something that this Buccaneers team is going to have to overcome. Obviously, Tom's been there, done that, but I'm worried about those other Florida boys where the sunshine is nice.
You wore sleeves, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sleeves, gloves, the heat packs.
You weren't man enough to go out there with.
I have a condition. Okay, I get cold.
He was always late coming out for warm-ups when you played him. You know, you're talking about cold weather. How about Buffalo? Buffalo is truly, if you think about it, they're the Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL. No respect. They really don't. And particularly in the state of New York, all the loving and the attention goes to the Giants and the Jets. And when you talk about fan bases, and I've coached in Dallas, some of the Chicago, Pittsburgh, great fan bases. But this fan base in Buffalo, I'll tell you, what they have done and stepped up, and they were so supportive. How about just raising money and donating money to a charity to help the grandmother of Josh Allen? And then last week with Lamar Jackson goes up there and they raise money over $400,000 to donate to his charity. I tell you, this is a special group of people up there in Buffalo, and I'm so happy that because for the Mafia, the Mafia up there, that they can get to the NFC Championship game again. I mean, they deserve it.
Absolutely. Great fan base right there. Mike, when you look at these offenses, the top 3 passing offenses in the NFL have made it to the Final Four here. Packers, what are you expecting from them today?
Well, I'm expecting them to pass the football, and why it's a pass-happy league, I think it ultimately going to come down to who can run the ball the best out of all 4 of these teams who play today. And while the run game is going to have to be consistent for everyone, look, we love to see the ball thrown all across the yard, and we sit here and we talk about it all the time, you know, how important the run game has to be. Today is a day where the run game has to show up. It's championship football. Whoever does it the best is going to advance. Green Bay can run it, Tampa can run it. You know, these teams can run the football, so I expect these teams to run the football. Who can do it effectively on advance?
You know, it's interesting. We have 4 unbelievable quarterbacks, arguably the 4 best, right? But I think the pressure's on Aaron. If Mahomes lost, he has an out. He was just in concussion protocol, bad foot. Josh Allen loses. He's going on the road. He's never been here before, inexperienced. Brady loses. He's 43. But if Aaron loses, it's what quarterbacks don't want, a negative narrative. It's like, oh, Aaron's lost his last 4 NFC championship games. Aaron's 7-8, his last 15 playoff games. You get into that. Peyton Manning dealt with this for the beginning of his career, which is, we know you're great. You're going to the Hall. You're not quite as great in the playoffs. I think Aaron wins today, but I do think he's the one quarterback, if he lost Monday, takes some heat.
Yeah, well, this is his first NFC Championship game at home, so maybe just being in a comfortable situation will help him. Time to get you in the know. Brought to you by Burger King. Peter Schrager joins us now with the latest on injuries affecting both the Bucs and the Packers. Hello, Peter Schrager.
Hello, Carissa Thompson. Let's start off with the Buccaneers. Antonio Brown is out today. Didn't even travel with the team. Expect Scotty Miller to play the Antonio Brown role in that offense. But more pressing right now is the status of Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the rookie who made a huge play in last week's divisional round win over the Saints. He was wearing a boot on Friday after hurting his ankle in practice, I'm told, up to the minute. He worked out for a long time pregame, and it is not looking good for today. We'll know at 1:40 Eastern for sure, and Jay Glazer will have it in the next show. But as of right now, as he headed off the field in pregame warmups, my source with the Bucs says not looking good. As for up front, they get Vita Vea back. This is a huge addition for them. Hasn't played since week 5 when he fractured his ankle. A 360-pound run stuffer who, by the way, in goal line packages, has a role on offense. Yes, let's see the footage from high school. This is 360-pound Vita Vea at Milpitas High School in California, where he was a running back. Bruce Arians has a package on the goal line where you might see Vita Vea in on offense today. Last but not least, at the Combine, this is what the plan was. They wanted to get Tom Brady. When free agency opened, they were able to secure it. Back then, they dubbed it Operation Shoeless Joe, with the plan, if we build it, he will come. If they win today, they go to the Super Bowl, and they're playing at home, and they can ask themselves, is this heaven?
Oh, well done, Tregs. I see what you did there. Is this heaven? It is for me. Greg Olson's here. We bring in the big guns for Championship Sunday. Look at this guy.
What's up?
The last time we saw you, you didn't know what your future was going to be. Then you ended up in Seattle.
The next 2 hours will be a star-studded affair featuring the best of both things. Find out what makes Tampa terrific as Michael Strahan once again tackles Tom Brady and CT goes one-on-one with Bucs breakout defensive star Devin White. Packer fans will find greener pastures as EA huddles up with Aaron Rodgers and Tony gets wide open with Devontae Adams.
Anytime I play them, I'm definitely going to try to remind them of what they could have had.
Plus, Cooper tries to infiltrate the Mafia, much to the chagrin of Hall of Famer Jim Kelly.
Good friends with your dad and Peyton and Eli, but really not you, Cooper.
Championship Sunday, done right, only on Fox.
The
the NFC Championship game here, fans can win $500,000 of Terry's cash and a Fox Super 6 game, plus his other all-new 2021 Ford F-150. I'm giving away Birdie 2. I just got her this week, Howie. You named it Birdie? Yes. I'll never forget you, Birdie. Pick 6 outcomes for a chance to win $500,000 of Terry's money, plus Terry's all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
IBM Fox NFL Kickoff is sponsored by IBM. The world's going hybrid with IBM.
I love a demonstration. So, Rob and Greg, if you don't mind coming up here.
Explosiveness, and that's what it's all about. Boom, right up the ball, and then he keeps running, keeps running.
At some point, I thought he was going to, wrestle me. I was totally braced up.
You guys must have had so much fun. Both of you decided to go back and play football. So that doesn't bode well for us here at Fox Sports. But we are happy to have you back. We know that we talked to you after that good time in Miami, and you weren't sure what you were going to do. So it came down to Seattle and Buffalo.
Good choice. So I'm here playing with you guys. So we see how well that hanging with you guys instead of playing today. So we see how well that decision played out. But I enjoyed my time. I'm rooting for Buffalo, but that was a tough one. That was a tough decision.
Well, we are happy that you are here, especially because this graphic would not make sense if you weren't. Here are the combined career numbers for 4 #1 tight ends in today's games, which includes 2 future Hall of Famers, and even they can't hold a candle to you and Tony.
Right.
Look at those numbers.
That's the best graphic I've ever been on.
Why?
Because I hope people don't know how much of that is all Tony. That's the best graphic. From now on, I'm only sharing my stats if they're combined with Tony.
Hey, that's what we do for teammates. See, right there.
So good.
It's collective. Speaking of teammates, so we talked about those guys, a lot of great tight ends. Of the 4 in today's games, Greg, who are you keeping an eye on?
I mean, last year we're down at the Super Bowl, right? We're talking about Kittle, we're talking about Kelsey. And here we are again. It seems like every year the teams that are vying for the Super Bowl to win it, to make it, they all have top-tier tight ends. And I think this year, a guy that kind of gets lost in the shadows, some of those other guys, is Robert Tonyan. I think he's a guy that gets, maybe left out. Devontae Adams is catching 1,000,000 balls, and Aaron Rodgers throwing it all over the yard. This guy had 11 touchdowns, in my opinion, should have been one of the representatives in the NFC for the Pro Bowl. He's a big-time game away today from, I think, putting himself into that upper-tier category.
What's amazing, 11 touchdowns this year. He only had 10 catches all of last year. 10 catches all the way to 11 touchdowns. So really a breakout year for him.
Crazy breakout year for his 3rd year. And honestly, I think he's probably one of the best complete tight ends. Like you said, he blocks his butt off. But the other guy we're talking about, you brought it up. How about Travis Kelce? He's probably the best tight end in the league right now. I know Kittle was hurt this year. But what he does so well, he's got that wiry, snake-like frame. And what Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, what they do is they set him up perfectly to utilize his skills. Watch here, he's going to dip inside and go up the field and then cut the out route. And this is significant because obviously people see this on tape and they say, all right, well, when he goes into that inside release, he's going to cut out. And so you're going to see if he's going inside release. Okay, here it comes again. He's going to cut out, but you're going to watch the Y return here, a whip route or whatever you want to call this thing. And then this is what he does best. In the NFL, I love when he gets the ball in his hands. He's got that snaky way I talked about, that wiry way to get up and make defenders miss and score touchdowns. That is why he's one of the best in the league.
I mean, what I love is they almost run routes with him like he is a wide receiver. So often we see tight ends run the same routes, cross routes, drags. He runs routes that on a lot of other teams, that's your slot receiver. Or that's even your #1 receiver. You don't see guys, I know I couldn't do it when I played, getting in and out of that whip route you just showed for the touchdown last week. There's not many tight ends in the league that have the footwork and the body control to do that. I think he's definitely the best guy in the league right now. He's special.
Yeah, that athleticism. Speaking of athleticism, we're going to go to Colin. Greg, stay with us. We're here all day with you. Colin?
Tom Brady is 14-2 all time in freezing weather, most of those in Foxborough. We know Tampa's offense is loaded, but today Mike Evans is limited. Antonio Brown is out. So, Mike, Tampa's game plan is what?
Yeah, you said it. Mike Evans limited, Brown out. You got to run, and just continue to run the football. Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones are going to have to get a heavy dosage of them, and then you can go to some play action with Chris Godwin and Scotty Miller as you get the run game going. But the run game for them, winning at the line of scrimmage is going to be paramount.
Yeah, this is not the same Green Bay defense, Packard, that we saw in that 38, giving up 38 points and losing the game. The 2 biggest concerns, and they were kind of average then, and everyone was talking, we were, about could they play the run? Could they be physical? Well, guess what? They ended up in the top 10 in the league in stopping the run. So they got that solved. The other thing, Tom Brady throwing the deep ball. The last 5 weeks, the Packers defense, with just rushing 4, have given up the least amount of big plays of anybody in the NFL.
Now, Antonio Brown is out. He was very critical in the last 4 weeks. The good news, they're so deep at wide receiver. Scotty Miller, who is a speed guy, can supplant some of that. But you do think AB's departure, just a play or two, could mean something.
To have an effect on it.
Yep. Carissa?
Thank you. Coming up, a look at the incredible legacies Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady will eventually leave behind. Plus, my interview with Buck star Devin White when Kickoff returns.
As a kid, you dream about playing in big games and playing in Super Bowls.
You know, the clock's ticking on all of us. It's given me a great opportunity to be at this age, still playing.
And I remember the first moment I stepped on that field as a starter. And then when you take your first snap as a playoff quarterback and you get to the Super Bowl for the first time, a lot of special moments.
This guy does things that other quarterbacks just can't do.
There's no play I haven't run. There's no defense I haven't seen.
Nobody's ever won more Super Bowls. Nobody's ever been better.
Ultimately, my goal is to go out there and do what I've always done, is to be the best.
What do they have in common? They're Hall of Fame level players.
I've been involved in a lot of big games over the years, so this is no different.
If you were to tell us 6 weeks ago, hey, man, you're going to be in Green Bay for the NFC Championship, you'd have a bunch of guys raising their hand and say, all right, we'll prepare for that and be ready for that.
Tom Brady was built for moments just like this.
Each year has different challenges and different special memories.
I've never been one to think about legacy or what it would mean for me down the road.
Just getting in that good headspace has allowed me to just play very free.
It's going to be a great matchup between two of the all-time greats.
I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had in the past and certainly grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be one of those fun, old-school NFC Central games.
Pumped to hear from both those guys next hour. EA and Stray sat down with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. When you look at this, Tony, does Aaron Rodgers, we make a lot of, put a lot of attention on Super Bowl rings, but does Aaron Rodgers need another one to cement his legacy?
You know what? Unfortunately, I hate to say it, yes, he does. There's just no doubt about it. I think, especially from the experts, I'm not saying that I agree with it, but he will be judged ultimately by how many rings he has. And it's one of the reasons that I was rooting for Drew Brees to finally to get that second one, because it just puts you in a different stratosphere once you get the second one. Aaron Rodgers has done everything great. He has set the tone for the NFL, that new age, making plays with your legs, the accuracy, all that good stuff. It would be like the difference between Jim Kelly and Joe Montana, right? Went to the Super Bowl same amount of times. One's got 4 rings, the other one's, and I think if you said who's the best, who's better, you would say Joe Montana just because of the 4 rings. So Aaron Rodgers, hopefully, I'm rooting for him, too. I think Green Bay's got a shot here.
Tony, I agree with you. When I think about this question, I think about myself. What if I just had one? And what that would do for my career as far as perception and what people think. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and his career and what he's been able to accomplish, the way he throws the football, the skill set, all the attributes, you look at his resume and you see 1 Super Bowl, and it's kind of unbelievable. So I think he needs 2 to just cement his legacy and then be mentioned in the upper echelon with all the greats that we always talk about.
Yeah, I think another one, I agree with you, would put him in the conversation of the great ones. The Brady and Manning guys you're talking about. The thing that he does, 40 years of coaching, I've been around some quarterbacks that have had strong arms. Troy Aikman, right, very accurate, obviously Dan Marino. But Aaron Rodgers, I've never seen a guy that can throw off his back foot, Mike, and be so accurate and then have the athleticism to get out of the pocket and extend plays and still be accurate. This is a very, very special player in my mind.
Yeah, let's go to the other quarterback on the field. A lot of conversation headed into this season was about that Belichick-Brady divorce. If Brady gets that win today, is that over or is it already over?
Well, I think that's a slam dunk, but Tom had 44 touchdown passes. New England had 10. So it's gone from Brady won the divorce to, wow, they have a systemic issue at New England. They can't draft skill people. And that was the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. So we all knew that Tom would flourish to some level because Tampa was really loaded. But you start looking at New England now, and it's like, wow, Tom really covered up over the last 5 or 6 years a problem. They don't have anything sniffing a Pro Bowler at a skill position in New England. Nothing close.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation there. For more on today's championship game, let's get you up to speed. Brought to you by State Farm. And we begin with Tom Rinaldi. Tom, delayed welcome to the family. And how about this? You come over to Fox, we give you Brady and Rogers. You're welcome.
Not only that, thank you very much. We get Light Flurry's Lambeau for the conference title game. How sweet is that? Carissa, a lot has been made of the Packers' blowout loss to the Buccaneers back here in October, but a bit of a different take from their All-Pro center Corey Linsley, who said when the team walked into the film session that Monday after, they largely expected their rear ends to be ripped by the coaching staff. Instead, it was turned into a learning experience. Why? Because the staff took accountability for their own mistakes. Talking to Matt LaFleur, he said, we made some bad calls. We used some bad schemes. And as a result, there was a bit of a turning point achieved in that film session, which has granted momentum to the Packers, which has led them here to a home chance to get to the Super Bowl. For more on the team they're going to face, let's go over to EA, Aaron Andrews.
First of all, Tom, where's your hat? Where's your gloves? I look like I'm a snowman over here. All right, Bruce Arians last week in that divisional playoff game against the Saints, he had some very colorful words when he talked about his team's identity. We asked him what the theme was this week, and he cleaned it up a bit. Bummer. He said you need to protect the football, take care of the ball, and it's football. It's not cold. Got to agree with Bruce Arians. It is chilly. I've been in worse at Lambeau. Bruce Arians saying 28 degrees at Lambeau in January. That's a gift. His quarterback, Tom Brady, telling us when it starts to get into the lower 20s, that's when I get cold. Obviously, he's got a good formula to keep warm in this game. Brady actually telling us, and you'll love this, Carissa, that he feels faster when it's cold because the guys on defense, they start layering up like Ralphie and Randy from the Christmas Story. He said, I actually feel quick. I mean, this guy throwing in a Christmas Story reference, the second he throws in Steel Magnolias, calm down, Tom. I'm all in.
You know what, Shelby? You drink that juice. In this case, a hot chocolate. I love you. You're bundled up like Bernie Sanders, and he was everywhere this week. Have a great call, babe. A look at both sides of the ball for Tampa, plus my chat with Devin White when Kickoff returns.
Bernie.
Winningest quarterback in playoff history does his thing. Chris Godwin, touchdown Tampa Bay.
It's Brady to Gronk yet again. Brady throws, caught, Evans touchdown.
Bucs win, Bucs win.
And that Bucs offense is impressive, but so is their defense. They lead the NFL with a plus 12 turnover margin, forcing 4 against the Saints last week. And I sat down with linebacker Devin White, who had a huge takeaway in that game and is ready for a repeat performance against Green Bay.
This kid is a budding superstar in the NFL. Devin White.
My golly, he is fired up to play football.
How was your week? It was good to be Devin White.
Yeah, I mean, my week was great. It's all about attacking this position and making the best of it because one thing you can't do, you can't get this game back.
Ball's out.
It's fumble ball. Picked up by the Bucs, Devin White. And the Buccaneers come up with a football.
You called your shot, too, man. You said you were going to do it, and you went out there and did it.
I'm going to put the dagger in him. Watch.
Breeze throws, and he's picked by Devin White.
I mean, that was really fun.
And the Bucs have the ball. We're in business.
Big-time players step up in big-time games when we need it the most. That's what we all play this game for, man. We talk about it every day. We all here to put rings on our fingers.
I'm on your ass, boy. I'm telling you. That guy's got a jetpack on his back.
You're only 22, but your quarterback has played in a conference championship game over 3 decades. That's a trip.
Yeah, that's crazy. My quarterback been playing in the NFL like since I was 1 year old. And the position we in right now shows you what comes with Tom Brady. And that's all I want out of this league. Like, I'm not selfish. I'm not individual. It's just about getting a championship. So, I mean, he has a tremendous impact on me.
And Tom Brady's got this one, and 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 this one. And he's looking for this one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You got to help him get that now. He didn't come down there just for the sun and the nice weather.
I know he on a mission, and I'm on that mission with him. But I'm so thankful that I'm getting to play with him, and I hope I can help him get number 7.
You are 1 game away from the Super Bowl, my friend. 1 game. You were vocal about the last time you guys played Aaron Rodgers.
Them guys didn't deserve to be on the field with us because we got too much talent. We fly around to the ball.
You coming with that same attitude this weekend?
Oh, Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I said that and I stand on it and I back it up. And when I come into this game, I'm coming with all these same emotions, all the same energy. I don't believe in what they say, the bulletin board material, because at the end of the day, you got to come to play. Because I say a lot of things on the field.
You can't run with me, boy. We finna kick their ass, and we're going back to Florida victorious.
If that's the case, that should make somebody want to beat
Devin,
me.
I'm fired up right now. Let's go out. Let's play. I want to run through the tunnel. I want to beat people up right now.
And I am not Bill, man.
The best in the league, you know? Yes, sir.
When I say Aaron Rodgers, you think what?
Not better than Tom Brady.
And that's a wrap.
Great job. That was fun. I can tell you got a little fired up there. But I tell you what I really love about him. I mean, the guy is 240 pounds. He runs a 4.42. I didn't know that. Okay, 4.42, and he's got that neck like Mike Tyson, meaning when he hits you, he is putting a mark and leaving a little sting on you, and the energy that he brings. But another big thing for this defense that they're getting back today, he talked about Vita Vea coming back. That guy is a huge 360, 370-pound run stopper right there in the middle. That is going to help those linebackers fly around even more. Don't forget about Levante David, the other. They form one of the best linebacking duos in the NFL. Vita Vea is a big part of that.
Oh, yeah. Big is the operative word. 360, big. Calling the blitz worked very well against Aaron Rodgers back in week 6. Can they shut him down again?
No, I mean, Aaron had his worst quarter as a pro. Second quarter, he got a bad break and an interception. He had a 0-0 passer rating. It was very windy. He's on the road. I think Aaron returns today. I just think this Green Bay team is built for today. They're hot. Matt LaFleur's second year. Remember, this is a system. The second year is the key for all these quarterbacks. I think they're tough to beat.
Greg, you saw this Bucs team, albeit a little bit different than when you were in Carolina, but what is it that makes them tick?
I think when Brady was a free agent last year, everyone talked about he wants weapons, right? He wants weapons. I also think a big part of why he picked the Bucs was this defense. And I think Todd Bowles, I mean, he's a bona fide head coaching candidate. He's going to get another shot, whether it's this cycle or next. He's pulling all the right strings. Good mix. Some of the back end guys, I know, Mike, you like those guys. They're a little younger, a little more less experienced up front, got some veterans. He's put this thing together, and I think Tom knew he needed this defense to go along with these weapons if he really wanted to go win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. Great scheme, young secondary. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I got to be looking at last week. We just faced Jalen Ramsey, and we came out okay. I'm taking my star receiver and Devontae Adams, and I'm going after Dean. I'm going after Murphy Bunting, and I'm going to make them to defend every blade of grass on the field, and I'm attacking, giving them.
Because that's a young secondary?
Young secondary. You got to get after them.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you look at the other side of the ball, I mean, a little shout out to Bruce Arians. You know, since they've been on this 6-game winning streak, the offense is hitting on all cylinders. What Bruce has done is he met Tom Brady halfway, and they came up with the conclusion, okay, we're going to run the ball more. We run it, then we're going to throw play-action passes. Gronk is used as a blocker almost as much as a receiver nowadays, and what's that done? It's gotten Tom more time. He gets hit less. He can throw the ball down the field. Everybody's happy.
Well, I'll tell you who's not happy. Breaking news, Peter Schrager told us that this might happen. The Bucs will be without Antoine Winfield Jr. today. A blow for him. We will have more kickoff right after the break.
That's a big deal right there.
Booker, tell me how you feel about the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, come on, man. Josh Allen set franchise records. MVP candidate. Stephon Diggs, game changer. The defense, they gonna be running around the field making plays. Mahomes, you in trouble, dog. Not since 1993, dog. AFC championship. AFC championship. And you know what? We're ready to celebrate. It's the only way the Bills Mafia know how. Come here, dog. Kansas City Chiefs, your AFC championship run is over. Now can you dig that, sucker?
Peter Schrager ain't no sucker. He's broken every table to find out who's in, who's out. You already told us about Antoine Winfield Jr. Schrags. What else are you hearing?
I've always wanted to be introduced by Booker T. Let's get into it. Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs here. All week it was about the concussion protocol, but the real concern today is his big toe on his left foot. He was hampered in this game against the Browns. They've been nursing things. They're saying it's a turf toe, something to watch the entire game, but it's not just him. Le'Veon Bell is going to be out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will play for the first time in several weeks. You will see him. The other issue is Sammy Watkins. They don't know if he's going to be able to go or not. It'll be a game-time decision. As for Buffalo, their rookie wide receiver receiver Gabriel Davis has been having a fantastic season. Hobbled by an injury, they're not sure he can go. Just in case, they activated Kenny Stills. Yes, Kenny Stills off the practice squad. He might dress if Gabriel Davis can't. And last but not least, Sam Farmer from the LA Times had a great piece on Josh Allen's hometown of Fireball, California. And in it, he noted it. Josh Allen's father has been suffering from COVID-19 and pneumonia this entire month. He will not be traveling to the game as he nurses that. His mother, though, will be at the game in Arrowhead as well as other family members. But Josh Allen, dealing with the COVID-19 coronavirus issue as much as all of us in this country, his father, Joel, will not be in the building at Arrowhead.
Yeah, thank you, Schrager. Yeah, no one's exempt, but our thoughts out to Josh Allen's father and everybody else. When we look at this game, my friend, who are you picking? Are you picking the Chiefs? You just heard all the injuries there. No Sammy Watkins, no Le'Veon Bell, so they're banged up. Who do you like in this game and why, Greg?
I'm going to go with the Bills. You know, maybe in 2 weeks I would have been playing, not just here with you guys. But, you know, Sean McDermott, back in 2011, we all got to Carolina and kind of turned that around with Ron Rivera. He was our defensive coordinator. He played a huge role in turning that franchise around to the success, eventually getting to a Super Bowl. Then now in his short time now going up to Buffalo, I'm not surprised that he's turned this in one of the best programs in the league. He's a great leader. He's going to have his guys prepared. They got a talented young group led by the quarterback he just introduced. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with the Chiefs, obviously. Of course. I have to. I'm contractually obligated. But I do believe that they have the better football team. And we talked about this last week, Colin, where I feel like during the season they were a little bored. And last week, I liked what I saw. And if Patrick Mahomes doesn't go out in that game, I believe they would have won that game by 14 points going away, maybe even more. And so I look for them, now that he's healthy, Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back. And that is a huge boost for them. Remember, he had 161 yards last time they played against each other. So with all those weapons, and if Sammy Watkins could just get on the field, remember last year in the playoffs, he averaged 96 yards per game in the playoffs last year. If he can get back to, I just don't see how you stop Patrick Mahomes for 4 quarters. I don't see any team stopping him for the rest of the year.
Look, all these injuries, okay, so real quickly, you mentioned Patrick Mahomes being healthy. If that turf toe is a thing, all I hear is how painful turf toe is.
If you're a Chiefs fan, this is terrifying. Since week 12, Buffalo, #1 red zone defense in the league. Since week 12, this is a reality. Kansas City, 26th red zone offense. And now you take out Mahomes' ability to run in the red zone. Translation, Kansas City is going to settle for a lot of field goals today. Okay, that's what we've seen since week 12. And now you take out the component of Mahomes running, where we saw it last week, very effective early against Cleveland. I would take KC close. If it was in Buffalo, I'd take the Bills. I think it is a play late by a star player, a Stephon Diggs or a Tyreek Hill. That's the game.
I'm going with Kansas City because Buffalo has no run game. I don't know what happened to Devin Singletary, and as of late, Josh Allen has been the guy who's been leading the Buffalo Bills in rushing. You can't come out and throw it 50 times like you did last week versus Baltimore. You got to kill some clock, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. That's playing exactly into what Andy Reid would want, and that's to get possessions.
I go the other way. I like Buffalo. I think Buffalo, Tony, I hear what you're saying, but Buffalo, I think, is playing the best football right now. You don't win 8 games in a row by accident in this league. And when you really look at them in the playoff thing, you know, they're hitting on all cylinders, all phases. And we talked about Mahomes, but let me tell you something. He does a lot of improvising on his offense, Mike, getting out of the pocket, running with that toe, with the concussion. I think he's hesitant today. In a big game like this, that makes the difference. Buffalo wins.
All right. Well, when you think of playoff success for Buffalo, you have to go back to the glory days and Hall of Famer Jim Kelly. Serious, focused, meticulous in his preparation, both grateful for and humbled by all he's achieved. And then there's Cooper Manning.
Lots of talk this week about the battle of number 12s. So I brought my favorite number 12 of all time, Jim Kelly, to the Manning Hour.
Thanks, Coop. But hey, my boyhood idol, Terry Bradshaw, where is he on that list?
Probably number 12, Jim.
Say what?
Jim, a lot of these whippersnappers with their TikToks, you know, Travis Scott meals, they don't realize you won 4 AFC championships in a row. That's like Juice WRLD dropping banger after banger.
Cooper, you have no idea what you're talking about.
You know who would? The Buffalo Bills, Jim. They're even hotter than these Buffalo wings.
There's no doubt about it. Josh Allen, Coach McDermott and those boys on the defense are getting better and better.
And it's amazing how quickly they've turned it around, Jim. It wasn't that long ago that Nathan Peterman was throwing 5 interceptions in 54 seconds.
Oh, boy, that's pretty funny.
What is it about Buffalo Bills quarterbacks that they all have 2 first names? We're dealing with Josh Allen and Jim Kelly. If Nathan Peterman had just been Nathan Peter, he probably would have stood a chance.
I'm not going to touch that one.
It's been 27 years since the Bills played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. 2 Hall of Famers, Montana Kelly, and now this year, Allen and Mahomes.
And I looked at the whole thing, Coop. This could be the best 4-quarterback weekend ever.
You beat Montana. I don't see any reason why Josh can't beat Mahomes. Do you?
No, not at all. He can do it. There's no doubt about it.
Ooh, I like that confidence, Jimmy boy.
Coop, you ever call me Jimmy again, I'm coming after you, and I'm going to end up on your dad.
Okay, ease up, Jimmy boy.
I'm on my way.
I love it. So, Jim, who do you think the Chiefs face in the Super Bowl?
What did you say? You say the Chiefs? Bills.
And who do the Bills play, do you think?
I don't care, as long as it's the Bills.
Jim, from your playing days to your battles with cancer, you were just the toughest guy I know, and I can't thank you enough for being on the show.
And Coop, for you, I would always do it because you're one of the cool Manning brothers. I like it.
Amen. Greatest show of all time. Jim, you're the best.
I'm one of the best liars, too.
You know you make me wanna
Jim Kelly, all class. The original TB12 and crew will make you want to shout as well. Ford Fox NFL Sunday is less than 30 minutes away. Our thanks to Greg Olson, who's already headed over to the set next door. We got plenty more coming up. Back on the field, Jair Alexander made his first Pro Bowl this season. Congratulations to him. And Tony sit down with his teammate, Davante Adams, is next.
Get another opportunity at a championship game.
Well, Tony, hard to believe this is Aaron Rodgers' 5th NFC Championship game, and he's only moved on once so far.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially with one of the best receivers in all the NFL, Davante Adams, who's now 0 for 3 in this round. This guy is a maestro when it comes to running the perfect route, and after talking to him, it's clear he believes that the 4th time is the charm.
Maestro.
I'm here in the recording studio, as you young bucks like to call it, the lab. Do you have any musical talents we should know about?
I can lay a 16 down, but I'm not a singer or nothing like that. But you know, I'm R&B and hip hop all day.
But I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool.
Do you obsess over route running? I mean, there was a great documentary called Euro Dreams of Sushi, and he's the best sushi maker of all time. And he said he goes to bed dreaming about different sushi rolls that he's going to come up with. Do you go to bed and wake up thinking about how to run the best route?
Real quick story. I got out the shower the other day, and I was standing there next to my wife. She's doing her hair before bed, and I just was locked in place, and I guess I didn't even realize how long I was sitting there, but I went through a whole play, caught the ball, made a move on the dude, scored a touchdown. I hear my wife saying, "Babe, what are you doing?" And I'm literally sweating. My forehead's sweating. I'm like, I got to get back in the shower, man. I'm just...
I love it. I love it.
So I'm thinking about that stuff all the time. I'm manifesting it. So I guess you could say, yes, I'm obsessed with my craft.
That's exactly what it takes. By the way, when you retire, which is a long time from now, you can do the same thing. I come around the corner sometime in my house when I got to make a left, and I'll throw the head out there and get low and come out of the break just to go get a piece of toast.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the first time you guys played Tampa earlier this year.
38 unanswered points by Tampa Bay. It's been a pretty dominant performance.
What did you guys learn from that game, and what can you take from that game into this week's contest?
They got a lot of momentum just based off the mistakes that we made and the bad positions we put ourselves in. But, you know, that game was not indicative of who we are as a team and what the matchup will look like this time around. Coming in limbo is not the same as playing in Florida.
How does that feel to be on the field at the same time with, I guess, with two of the GOATs.
It's awesome, man. It's something that I definitely don't take lightly. It's still an awesome experience being able to see two of the best ever at their positions and go head-to-head like that and be a part of it. It's pretty special. First, it was kind of crazy, and I was mind-blown being out there, but now it's kind of normal, I guess you could say, trying to play to the way where people add me to that conversation. That's my mindset now.
And how about Davante Adams?
So hard to cover. Best wide receiver in football right now. I never played in the Super Bowl. Obviously, you have yet to play in one. What would that mean to you to finally be able to make it to the big game?
It's my fourth one in 7 years, being this close 4 times now. I know what it feels like to not be able to get there and to come up short. So I got that in the back of my mind, and it's just going to keep me hungry.
Yeah. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like
Good
that.
job, Tony. That's funny.
The thing about Davante, a lot of people are really starting to learn about him, but he is somebody, in my mind, he's DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, right there at the top. And what he does, he's not the quickest, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he does everything really, really, really well. And I think he is the complete wide receiver. And the reason he has so much success is Aaron Jones right now. We talked about that running game. I said it last week. Aaron Jones, Jamal Adams, and A.J. Dillon. With that running game, with Aaron Rodgers the way he's playing right now, that helps Davante Adams. It helps Scantling. It helps Lazard. Go out there. Those guys. By the way, those guys, you get one drop ball today. That's it, and then you catch everyone after that. And those guys will go out and have some success.
I loved it. Coach, we talked about it. The Bucs had success against this team in Week 6. How do they do it again?
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult on Tampa for this reason. And Tom Rinaldi, he was right on point when he said that the Green Bay coaches were disappointed watching the tape after the Tampa game. What he was referring to in that first game, I watched it again this week. Think about this: their star running back Aaron Jones was lined up at a wide receiver 14 times, and he only had 10 carries in that game. And it's changed today. And the second thing, Aaron Rodgers was under pressure all day with that Todd Bowles defense. But guess what? For the last 12 weeks, Aaron Rodgers has been sacked only one time when a blitz has come after him. So they're ready for that. I mean, I think it's going to be difficult.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, because if you're going to face the three-headed monster of Rodgers, Adams, and Aaron Jones, you better have your head on a swivel. It's insights built by IBM Watson. This offense, you guys, is near perfect on play action this year, with Rodgers completing almost 74% of his throws, including 20 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Mike, how is he so successful?
I mean, you just said it, and Tony just said it as well. When you have a running back like Aaron Jones, when you can turn around and hand it off to him, the options on the offense become limitless. You can go play action, you can run it, and then you can play action to guys like Lazard and Davante Adams, and the offense just opens wide up. But when you look at these plays right here, check out the safety Jordan Fuller. How he recognizes the formation. It's a simple formation, and it's just a simple inside zone run. But Jordan Fuller comes barreling in, 0 to 100, and it's a 6-yard gain by the Packers, which is a successful game, but not so good for the defense, as Coach would tell it. But this play right here, 4 plays later, you put Jordan Fuller in the same situation, same formation. He comes down, he gets nosy. He's down 0 to 100 again, but it puts Lazard one-on-one with Troy Hill. Aaron Rodgers sees it. Matt LaFleur understands it. He recognizes it. And then you get a play call with a touchdown and a post in the concept, which really puts the straw on the camel's back in this game. And it was schemed up perfectly.
Yeah, your defense has to respect the run, so you can't cheat on the backside, then it opens up everything else over the top. It does sound too simple. For more on the Packers, let's bring back Peter Schrager. Schrags, you got some insights on Green Bay's head coach, Matt LaFleur. What's up?
Yeah, Carissa, everyone's doing flips about the Packers today. And guess what? They were here last year. They were in the NFC Championship game. They were 13-3. I spoke to Matt LaFleur yesterday, and I said, what's different? And we had a good laugh because the New York media is going nuts about Robert Saleh's slogan, all gas, no brakes. He said, last year we had a slogan. It was all gas, no bleeping brakes. This year, no slogans, none of that, no motivational videos. We know how good we are. We're in the second year of what we're building, and we believe we can beat anybody if we play our game.
I'll tell you, Green Bay, the front office got a lot of heat for drafting Jordan Love, right? But if you look at how dynamic Green Bay's offense is, Aaron's a first-rounder, so is Mercedes Lewis, and then Davante's not, Aaron Jones isn't. Their offensive line's tremendous. This front office took a lot of heat. This has been built and developed in your 3rd round, your 4th round, your 5th round. Green Bay's done a tremendous job in the front office.
They sure have. And coming up next, we will hear from both Tom Brady and Michael Strahan, they reunite for an exclusive interview. Plus, Aaron Andrews sits down with Aaron Rodgers. Everything you need to know ahead of Championship Sunday is coming up next.
With the NFC Championship game here, fans can win $500,000 of Terry's cash and a Fox Super 6 game, plus his other all-new 2021 Ford F-150. I'm giving away Birdie 2. I just got her this week, Howie. You named it Birdie? Yes. I'll never forget you, Birdie. Pick 6 outcomes for a chance to win $500,000 of Terry's money, plus Terry's all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
The Daytona 500, February 14th on Fox.
The NFC Championship is here, and there's still time to play Fox Super 6.
Win $500,000 of Terry's money, plus his other all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
Last week, Terry from Maryland won Terry Bradshaw's all-new 2021 Ford F-150 just by playing Super 6. And Terry's was going to do it again because that's the kind of guy he is. Not only will one random entrant win Terry's newest truck, but also there's $500,000 on the line today. Download the app, play for free, then just answer 6 simple questions about today's Bucs-Packers game. It's really that easy. And we are also going to make some picks for this NFC Championship game. I am going with the Bucs because it's Tom Brady and 6 rings. I got them by a field goal. Shregs, who do you got?
I've got the Packers. Aaron Rodgers finds a way 30-28. Mason Crosby at the buzzer. Let's see.
I am going to go with the Packers of Green Bay. It is Aaron Rodgers' time to go out there and have a statement game again and win. 31-24.
Aaron Rodgers too much for Tampa Bay's defense. 31-30. Green Bay win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay 2, 24-17. I think the defense shows up for the Packers and makes a difference.
33-26. Green Bay will not be that close.
I can't wait to be on a text chain when the Bucs win. Thanks for watching. It's been an incredible season. Enjoy Ford Fox NFL Sunday.
A great year. Good job, everybody.
It's game day, Packer Nation.
Game day, Bucs Nation.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady for the NFC Championship game.
Sunday, game day for Tampa Bay in Green Bay, where pride still matters. A way of life, a devout faith in the pack. The Bucs, the treasure of 2 cities. With this in common, the football will be snapped to a future Hall of Famer. 2 men, 7 Lombardies, a lifelong quest to be the best.
It's 78 degrees right here in Tampa Bay.
Temperatures in the 20s. It's what we call football weather here in Green Bay.
Their presence renders the cold warmer across the tundra, the sunshine brighter along the Gulf Coast. Anticipation, expectation, a fervor head to toe.
We are moments away from kickoff at Lambeau Field.
Whatever you're doing right now, wrap it up because it's go time.
A showdown in Titletown for the NFC crown on Fox.
All right, 2 legends get ready for something they've never done. Tom Brady's playing in an NFC title game for the first time. It's his 14th championship contest overall in his 21-year career, and a win would get him into a record 10th Super Bowl. But to get there, he has to outduel Aaron Rodgers, who, for the first time in his career, gets to host an NFC Championship game in the elements, at home, in one of the most legendary venues in all of sports, Lambeau Field. So icons abound as we get you ready for a dynamic matchup to crown the champion of the NFC. It's Brady and the Bucs against Rodgers and the Pack. The winner moves on to Super Bowl 55. So why don't we get it rolling here on one and only Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, brought to you by the Ford F-Series, the official truck of the National Football League. Come on in and stay a while, folks. I'm Kurt Menefee. Thank you for joining us. And a special thanks to Delroy Lindo for opening up today's broadcast. His movie, Defying Bloods, is streaming right now on Netflix.
Broken Arrow.
He's a great, great actor.
Just getting it in there.
Yeah, that's how he got to start with you, right?
Oh, my God.
You know. Hey, guys, we got Terry and Howie here. Michael and Jimmy will join us in just a second. Before we get started here talking about football, I want to note the passing of an icon in Hank Aaron this week. passed away at the age of 86. This is the first sports hero I had.
You're
as
an
a
Atlanta
kid.
guy.
That's right. I grew up in Atlanta. He actually lived in the same neighborhood as my grandparents. Always meant something to that entire city to me as a fan. So
it was as much about the number as it was everything else involved with that process and what he went through and what we went through as a country.
Amen to that, brother. Rest in peace to him, and our condolences to his entire family. You know, look, I mean, we all have that one sports idol growing up, but that also includes the idols who are idols now. Both raised in the Bay Area, Brady and Rodgers worship Joe Montana, so why not start off our championship coverage with the guy they loved, Joe Cool, returning the favor.
What do you think makes a good ball player?
You can't put your finger on it, but you know it when you see it.
I've always dreamt about playing Division I football, and it's going to be a great opportunity for me.
For two kids from NorCal, let's just say they had a front row seat.
When I was a kid, I remember watching Joe Montana, and I just remember feeling that that's what I wanted to do.
It exists somewhere between love and hated, but always respected. Some call it calm. We just call it cool. You might think it's all God-given, and sure, some of it's innate, but you know what's really cool? When it didn't come easy.
You know, I was the 7th quarterback on the depth chart at Michigan. Didn't know if I'd ever play.
San Francisco 49ers select Alex Smith.
Cool is being a closer. A killer.
Number 42. We ain't done.
It's doing it on your own terms, whether they like it or not, and never asking anyone to do something you wouldn't do yourself.
Everybody give me your best, because you know I'm going to lay it on the line for you.
So when you finally crack that code, sometimes you got to find a reason to have a chip on your shoulder again.
Going for it all. Rodgers has done it again.
But tell those two boys from California they have it all.
You'd have been everything I've ever hoped, and even more.
There's not much more I could have asked for coming from San Mateo. So
they'll tell you it sure doesn't feel like it.
See, baby.
Now that's cool.
What the hell do these people know? That sounds like Joe Montana right there.
The most impressive thing to me about Tom Brady is he brought to Tampa a championship discipline. You know, a year ago, Tampa Bay, they were 7-9, a sloppy team, turnovers and penalties. And then Tom Brady comes in. Now, a slow start, but the turnaround was the 5th week of the season against Chicago. Here, they lose by 1 point, had 11 penalties, and Brady just gets off on the sideline, all upset. Well, the next week, they beat Green Bay, 0 offensive penalties, and they went on a championship run, cutting the turnovers and the penalties down in half. You know, you look at Tom Brady, he just brought to Tampa, the same thing that he had been doing for years, keeping the mistakes to a minimum like he did in New England.
You're exactly right, Jimmy. He changed the culture of that football team the minute he walked in the building. I think everyone in that building was doing the prerequisite amount of work, preparation. They thought they were doing enough. Then he walks in the building, and you have an understanding why he was so successful in New England. He's brought that culture there, and slowly but surely, it didn't happen overnight. They had to find a groove on offense, and they had to become more disciplined.
You know, as we bring in Michael Strahan, we tend to overuse the word legacy, Michael. Let's go with how important is this to Aaron Rodgers getting to a second Super Bowl, maybe winning a second when he retires and looks back on this?
I mean, when it comes to the legacy, this game is more important to Aaron Rodgers than it is to Tom Brady, in my opinion. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, how amazing is this guy? He was slighted in the draft. He was slighted when they hired the drafted a quarterback last year. And how does he respond? 48 touchdowns, the career high, an MVP type season, another NFC championship game. And as they say, TB, he's going to show up today and he's going to show out.
Well, I don't think he was slighted. He still got first-round money. Tom Brady got 7th-round money, if you want to go there. And I do agree that to a greater extent, legacy maybe not so much. But then again, maybe I could say his legacy is a little bit challenged here. He needs to win a second Super Bowl, and he knows that guy he's going up against today. And Brady, with 6 of those, is already the guy that's the standard bearer. He's got it sitting right up here. Rodgers today, and I agree, more pressure on him than on Brady.
Well, Rodgers and the Packers are looking to win it all for the first time in 10 years, but they'll have to do so while also mourning the passing of the man who built that championship team, longtime GM Ted Thompson. He passed away this week at the age of 68. Aaron Rodgers was Thompson's first ever draft pick as Green Bay GM, so their Packer legacies will forever be connected. Pro Bowlers Rodgers, Davante Adams, and Aaron Jones, just a few of Thompson's draftees, will try to add to that legacy by winning an NFC championship today. More in the game after a break.
As we set our sights on the NFC Championship, Aaron Rodgers comes into focus as he sits down with EA and embraces the spotlight of the big game. Then, his teammate Aaron Jones opens up to Tom Rinaldi in a story that you won't want to miss. And when Brady talks, he never strays too far from the truth. Also, we say hello to a familiar friend with great hands on Fox NFL Sunday.
Look, whatever, I'm good.
With the NFC Championship game here, fans can win $500,000 of Terry's cash and a Fox Super 6 game, plus his other all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
I'm giving away Birdie 2. I just got her this week, Howie.
You named it Birdie?
Yes. I'll never forget you, Birdie.
Pick 6 outcomes for a chance to win $500,000 of Terry's money, plus Terry's all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
It's time to cast your vote and select the fan who'll be inducted into the Ford Hall of Fans class of 2021. Vote now for your favorite nominee at FordHallOfFans.com. Plus, enter for your chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 55.
We have stepped outside for more of the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Thank you for sticking around with us. And thanks to Greg Olson, who joins us right now. 14 years in the NFL, multiple Pro Bowls, been to a Super Bowl. You're going to break down the tight ends in today's game in just a bit, but I understand first you got some breaking news.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little Jay Glazer right now for the show. After 14 years of playing in this league, proud of what I was able to accomplish, proud of the relationships, everything that the game has given me. But sometimes when it's time, it's time. And my time in the NFL now has come to an end. I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm excited that that chapter involves the Fox family, and I'm going to be working with Fox moving forward in my post-career endeavors. So I'm stepping away. I'm done. I've got it all out of my system.
Great career. Good career, and welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Let's
give it up for Greg.
Appreciate it.
He's going to be in the broadcast booth for us this fall. So maybe as a warm-up here, we'll get you to break down the tight ends between Green Bay and Tampa Bay. And everybody talks about Gronk, but I know you love the guy for the Packers, Robert Tonyan.
I do. I mean, Gronk gets all the headlines, right? For years, we've seen him play in Super Bowls. We've seen him catch passes from Brady all over the place. Even last year, Kittle and Kelsey, marquee names. But Robert Tonyan, I think, is a game away. I think a game of this magnitude on this platform, he's a game away from moving up into that upper echelon. Maybe an underappreciated guy, 50 catches, kind of overshadowed by Rodgers, Davante Adams. 11 touchdowns. This guy can play now. He's a big part of their offense. I'm going to keep an eye. He's a breakout game away today from being a household name of the position.
Yeah, Gronk's game has changed down there. You know, he's more of an inline blocker. You might see Gronk one-on-one in pass protection with one of the Smiths outside.
Yep.
And down in the red zone, he's such a big target. That he can still do. But Tom is really kind of the shift has gone to Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate is a guy that Tom trusts, and he's been kind of the guy that drives the train there at tight end.
Yeah, but when you're inside the 20 or at the 20 going in, what they call the red zone, I'm telling you, man, Gronkowski gets a lot of respect. And Brate may be the one that's coming around making all the catches, but the look is always on Gronkowski. You got to pay attention to him. Big, strong, powerful guy. And inside the 20, if I had him on my team, guarantee I'd use him.
Yeah, Gronk's going to get his chances. He might not have the volume of catches and targets that we're accustomed to seeing him back with Brady and the Patriots, but when Brady needs a play, especially down in the red zone, as you said, Terry, that ball, he's matched out one-on-one. That ball's going to be thrown up to the corner, and they're going to say, hey, Gronk, just go get it. And, he can still do that.
How easy is it for Gronk to make this transition? I mean, he's basically a blocker now. One catch the entire postseason.
I think it's hard. I think people don't appreciate it, especially a guy that's accomplished what he has. I saw a little bit of it with my time in Seattle this year, and things aren't exactly what you're used to. They don't want to run the routes exactly the way you want them. And, you know, it's just you build up such a familiarity doing it one way. I give him a lot of credit to reinvent himself, to take a back seat in some of the passing game and say, hey, Brate, I'm not afraid to give you some third downs, red zone. But when I get my chances, he's going to make some plays today. We're going to see old Gronk. It might not be 10, but 2 or 3 times he's going to impact the game today.
He's actually put on weight, Kurt, since the season started. Probably 20 pounds at least.
He's not the only one. Just saying. All right. We will hear more analysis from this man in the fall. He'll be in the broadcast booth.
Aboard,
we
man.
thank you so much for joining us. And welcome aboard, Greg Olson. Now, when we come back, we'll also cover the AFC title game. Still ahead, our own Aaron Andrews chats with Aaron Rodgers while Michael sits down with Tom Brady.
4 quarters for us to play in a home Super Bowl is pretty amazing.
And script is right in front of you. We left room for you to improvise some lines.
Perfect. It's the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to win for sure.
Yeah, we can't say that the Chiefs are going to win.
Ah, gotcha. Buffalo heads to Kansas City, and I've just been informed the Bills are going to win for sure.
Okay, we actually don't know who's going to win.
That makes sense.
Okay, let's try one where...
Bills, Chiefs, no one knows who'll win. I'm worried Mahomes isn't 100%, so I'm taking the Bills. My wife has a crush on Travis Kelce. Can you blame her? If the Bills make the Super Bowl, they're just going to blow it again. Wings versus ribs. What's better off the bone?
Okay, I think we got it.
Are you sure I didn't see the red record light on?
We got it.
Well, generic voiceover guys worried about Patrick Mahomes. Jake Glazers are here to give him an answer.
Here to work for them. That's exactly right, Kurt. Look, let's first go with the concussion protocol. Patrick Mahomes has passed everything fine there. It wasn't a classic concussion, but anything from here up, you're going to get placed in the concussion protocol. Instead, he basically had the carotid artery cut off. Usually this happens in MMA fights, but in an MMA fight, you sit there on the canvas and on your stool for a while before they get you right back up. That's not what happened to Patrick Mahomes. He is fine there. It's the toe that they're very concerned about, so much so that they had to put a special orthotic in that shoe with carbon fiber to protect it. That is what they're concerned about. Probably going to need some surgery for that. Could need surgery for that in the offseason. However, Howie, he does get back Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week. They're going to work him in the rotation.
Well, that's huge for them. The last time these two teams played, they were just coming off a loss to the Raiders where they threw the ball all over the field and didn't focus on the run game. And Buffalo played coverage and defied them to run the football, and they did. They ran it for over 200 yards, and Helaire was a big part of that. And despite having the 7th highest blitz rate in the league, Buffalo blitzed 0 times that week, and given, Mahomes' situation, the fact that they get Matt Milano back, Tremont Edmonds is healthy at linebacker, I'd expect them to play coverage, but I expect to see more blitzes.
Buffalo today. Folks, listen, you're going to love watching Josh Allen play. Mahomes, we all know about. There's not a better arm in the NFL than Josh Allen. You'll see it on display today. He will fire it deep. Could be as many as 80 passes thrown today, because one thing Buffalo will do, they will hardly run, they will throw. Go back to last week against Baltimore, 16 straight passes out of 17 first place. Now, here's another thing. It's going to be good. It's going to be in the slot guy. You're going to have Sneed,
L'Jarius Sneed.
L'Jarius Sneed out of Louisiana Tech. He'll be the guy in the slot.
80 passes.
Yeah, that AFC Championship game coming your way a little bit later. But right now, let's get back to the NFC title game. And this has really been a memorable season for Packer running back Aaron Jones. Being named to his first Pro Bowl, a lot of things have stood out, but it's been a single moment that stands apart. Tom Rinaldi has more on Jones' special season, some special cleats, and a very special little boy.
Through the cleats, I hope she sees her son just saying, "I love you, Mommy, everything's okay. I'm right here with you."
Growing up in Western New York, Ethan Haley was always playing and smiling and sketching.
He loved art. He was always coloring or drawing.
He would just stop and then all of a sudden say, "I want to draw." I think he could make his dreams a reality.
Ethan's reality changed in 2018, the week of his 10th birthday, when doctors saw a shadow on a scan.
We told him what it was and that it was cancer and that he needed surgery. And he just, okay, let's do this. We're going to fight it.
So began the surgeries, the courses of radiation, fighting the tumors in his brain and then his spine, as Ethan twice beat back the cancer.
He just had a strong will to live. Like, he was not going to lay down and just not let it dictate who he was.
But in the winter of 2020, scans revealed 4 new tumors in Ethan's brain, with nothing more doctors could do.
We told him he was dying. Unless there was a miracle. That's the time he just said it. He knew it. But he accepted it and lived fully knowing that he was dying.
Ethan drew comfort from his faith, family, and his art, entering a contest to design shoes for Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones to help raise awareness for pediatric cancer research as part of the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats campaign. In November, Jones surprised Ethan on a Zoom call.
Hey, what's up, Ethan? This is Aaron Jones. I wanted to let you know that not only you're a finalist, but you're the winner. And I got your cleats right here. I sent something to your house as well. It's only right you get a pair of the cleats you designed.
Awesome.
Week 13, Jones had the longest run of his career in Ethan's shoes.
He's got a chance to the 10 to the 5.
What a
to the
run.
end zone.
What a run.
Touchdown, Aaron Jones.
He was right there with me, and he knows when I got in the end zone, that was for him. I might have had Jones on the back of my jersey, but I had Ethan right here in the front.
To see Aaron run in Ethan's cleats, that was just, it was super special.
2 weeks after that game, December 20th, Ethan Haley died. He was 12 years old. For his memorial, he recorded a message for all who knew him.
I've learned that my body is just an outer shell. It's my heart that really matters. I hope that my walk through cancer has been a light to you.
I'm always going to have a connection to him forever. I'm sad because I wanted to grow our relationship and build upon it, but I'm glad I had a positive effect and left his family with something that they can always remember.
As the Packers play their biggest game of the season, one family will be watching, cheering, remembering.
I hope they see their son right there with me and they know that everything that's happening is for him.
We'll see a guy running for Ethan, and we'll see Ethan cheering. He would have been super excited. My boy.
The Haley family wanted to share Ethan's story as part of a testimony to his great faith, but also to continue to raise awareness for pediatric cancer research through great foundations like Alex's Lemonade Stand that you saw featured on the cleat that Jones wore. The family hopes that one day we'll be able to thank Jones in person, but this day they'll be watching, and they believe that Ethan will, Kurt, as well, from on high, to see if Jones can help carry the Packers to a Super Bowl.
Thank you, Tom, and Ethan's family for finding a way to bring words to an unspeakable tragedy. I mean,
and anybody who has a child, to have that kind of faith and poise and courage, pretty amazing. Pretty inspirational story.
Absolutely. Maybe that's the word, inspirational. All right, we will get back to football on the other side as we take a quick break. Brought to you by Truist. And get you all set for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Heading to Lambeau, getting ready to try and get into the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55 is on the other side. But, of course, so is Aaron Rodgers, who will try and prevent that from happening, get to his second Super Bowl game, and maybe win his second Super Bowl. First time he's been at home in an NFC championship game. And speaking of Lambeau Field and the frozen tundra, how about One Ice Sculpture Company? They've been able to carve out a new business model. Here's a look at them, sponsored by Intuit QuickBooks.
Whatever it takes to make sure we're playing next week, all right? We are champions. Play like champions. Because your personal best will be enough. Let's go, man. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3.
There's a lot to live up to if you're the mayor of Titletown, USA. Bart Starr won 5 championships in 7 years, including the first 2 Super Bowls. And after a long, cold winter in the tundra, Brett Favre returned the franchise to glory, adding a 3rd Lombardi. Sure, Aaron Rodgers got them a 4th Super Bowl title, but it's been 10 years, and the Titletown natives are getting restless.
Well, they've got a hot team coming into this one. The Packers have won 7 straight games. The Bucs, on the other hand, they're winners of 6 in a row. Each team playing its best football heading into today's title game. Jay Glazer, though, who will be in and who will be out? Brought to you by Geico.
We know that Antonio Brown is out of this game, but what you didn't know going into today is that Antoine Winfield Jr., one of their best surprises this year on this team, Bruce Arians, I talked to him this morning, said, I think he's going to be okay. They brought him out here for pregame warm-ups. He was not able to accelerate. He is out of this game. This is a huge loss for that secondary, trying to go against Aaron Rodgers and those weapons. And then on the other side also, when I talked to Matt LaFleur last night, he too was nervous about one of his defensive backs, Kevin King. He missed the first go-around when they played the Bucs early in the season. Kevin King had back spasms, but he is good to go in this game. Also, Chris Barnes, he broke his thumb last week. He's just going to cast it up. He's going to be good to go, but huge loss for the Bucs in Winfield.
Absolutely. Yeah. He has been a key rookie for them. All right, thanks a lot, Jay. You know what? The last time Green Bay actually hosted an NFC title game, it was January 2008. It was also Brett Favre's final game as a Packer. Michael Strahan and the Giants beat him to go on to the Super Bowl. We were there. And it was so cold, Jimmy filled up a glass of water to start the pregame show. By kickoff, it was frozen solid. Aaron Andrews, it was -3 degrees back then, -24 wind chill. The question is, it looks a little bit warmer today. How is it?
It's not bad, although can I just say Jimmy's hair is still flawless in those temperatures. I mean, we got to get back to that. What's his secret? As you guys mentioned, it's been a while since the NFC Championship was here at Lambeau. And as Aaron Rodgers told me, it's 6 of this very matchup. I spoke to me a story when the Packers went to camp, and he said Rodgers was just happy. He was laughing, having a good time. David telling me a happy, excited Aaron Rodgers is a dangerous one. I've just got to get him to February. Well, we have 4 quarters till that big game in February. And before we even think about this, can we just enjoy this backdrop? Lambeau Field, NFC Championships, and the two of the best ever to play. You don't need me to set this up. I mean, the NFC Championship is back at Lambeau. If last week felt normal, how do you think this week is going to feel?
I think normal as well. I mean, it's been 13 years since we hosted an NFC Championship. I remember that day. Yeah, it's been a while.
Last year, you had told me you remember 14 after you lost to Seattle, and you said you were just in shock.
This championship game goes to Seattle.
Do you ever reflect on the emotions on those NFC championships?
All the time.
Postseasons have ended in heartbreak more times.
I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from your experiences, and for me in my sport, I've had a lot of them. A lot of highs and some tough ones as well. The one thing you definitely take with them is that emotion. Remembering how you felt when it's just kind of over. Sitting with that, I think, is important. Not running away from it or not acknowledging it. Sitting with it and understand how special it is, because the opposite of that highest of high is that sadness, because you put so much into it.
Everyone believes that you're on your way to your 3rd MVP of your career, but you're really trying to savor the moment this year.
Takes it himself to the end zone. He's in there. Aaron Rodgers is playing maybe the best ball of his life at age 37.
What has it allowed you to enjoy more this year that maybe you hadn't in years past?
Well, I think it's just all the little things that are so special that pass by most people without thinking about them. Sometimes you got to pinch yourself and realize how special it is. You know, we fly private, we have police escorts. It's not real. Like, it's not real life.
Rodgers looks to throw.
This whole thing is about the experience and the journey, and there's just some cool moments along the way.
Great job.
The conversations you can have if you maybe take your headphones off and engage with the person next to you. I think there's a lot of cool moments that you might miss if you're putting on autopilot and kind of flying through the season.
The Bucs, with the help from a 43-year-old quarterback named Brady, get into the NFC Championship game for that matchup against Aaron.
Speaking of Tom, you've been here before. He's been here before.
What a game that'll be.
How do you manage the magnitude of this game, this moment?
Well, EA, this is what we do.
But still, I don't care how much you're paid or how long you've been doing it. It's massive.
If it was easy, everybody could do it. That's why we're in this position, because it isn't easy. You know, when the playoffs kind of shook down and you saw the 7 teams, I felt like, you know, at some point we're going to have to beat Tampa to get to the Super Bowl. And if we were out there and do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be there right at the end.
I can't wait for this. And of course, right over my shoulder, 2010, the last time Aaron Rodgers played in his one and only Super Bowl. I asked him what's the key in getting back there. He said we have to stay consistent and take care of the ball. Loved his answer about when all eyes and cameras are on him. When the going gets tough, he said, I'm used to it. They're always on me. Terry, that's like you. I mean, how do you even share the spotlight with these two quarterbacks? It's not even fair.
You know, he's right. Yeah, come on, Aaron. It's always about quarterbacks in these games. We got 4 great quarterbacks playing today, the AFC, NFC combined. The thing about Aaron Rodgers is I'm sure a lot of folks out there are hoping that he wins this game because they're tired of Tom Brady. Well, I happen to like Tom Brady quite a bit. I like Aaron Rodgers. Don't turn the football over, protect it, crossing routes, play action passes, hit the big play, don't get behind early. Recall last year's game against the 49ers. They were down 27-0 at halftime. Game over. I don't think that's going to happen today. We're in for a real treat watching Aaron Rodgers in this running attack, and he's got an offensive line that gives him time. They have everything in Green Bay that they need offensively to go to the Super Bowl.
And you know, TB, there's so much said about, you know, he says about quarterbacks, but it's also about the weapons that these quarterbacks have. Everybody was saying Aaron Rodgers, he has no weapons going into the season. Well, Devontae Adams has emerged as possibly the best wide receiver in the league. You also have Aaron Jones in that running game. Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard, they stepped up big in these playoffs and whenever they've been needed throughout the season. And Robert Tonyan, the tight end, has caught 11 touchdown passes this season as well. But the overlooked weapon for this team is the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers only been sacked 20 times this season. That is the least amount of sacks he's ever had in his 13-year career in a season. They have to keep him clean today. But so much is being made about what Brady has in the weapons. If you look them up and you match them up man for man, Green Bay has as many, if not more, weapons than Tampa Bay does.
Yeah, Michael, and I agree, and it's certainly a great matchup with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, but the two defenses, this defense of Green Bay is built to kind of complement this explosive offense. And in many ways, how this offense goes, particularly early on, how close the game, do they get behind, will dictate the terms of how they play on defense. The knock on them last year in the playoffs and during the regular season was their inability to stop the run game. And in some ways earlier in the year, the same question was being asked. They've been better as of late. Anybody who saw that Tampa Bay run game last week with Jones and Fournette, it was impressive. They were patient. They pounded New Orleans, who in my mind is a better defense. Mike Patton and that defense have their hands full with this group.
I thought Fournette made a real good statement last year because he came in from Jacksonville. He said, hey, this is what I can really be. He's been awfully impressive running the football.
Jimmy.
Hey, what do you got, bub?
Turn that thermostat down to 62. I want to get ready for this ball game now. Coach Matt LaFleur, he understands this game is going to come down to pass protection and explosive plays. Now, Michael, you mentioned that offensive line. That offensive line did not play as well against Tampa the first time. The blitz really hurt them, and I expect to see the blitz more in this ball game. What Tampa Bay did, they played man coverage, all-out blitz. They kept a linebacker in a spy position, taking away the crossing routes and, Rodgers scrambles. Now, what Rodgers can do, the quick throws, the outside throws, the double moves, and then the deep post. If he can protect, they'll get some explosive plays.
Well, it's a little bit colder than 62 in Green Bay, by the way, Jimmy. But as our coverage heats up, we're less than half an hour away from kickoff of the NFC Championship game. Tom Brady on the road at Lambeau. We'll talk to him next.
5G built right for the NFL, only from Verizon.
The Great American Race.
You don't get a name like that by chance. That's something you earn. Because this isn't just another race. It's a run at history. Coming soon to Fox. Watch as 4 playoff teams compete for the love of their lives on The Trophyette.
Wow, I've never seen anything like her. Probably because I never won a Super Bowl. Holy Gronkowski, she's gonna make one heck of a trophy wife.
You can call me cheesy, but I think I'm falling in love. These guys have no chance. The Trophy and I met last year, and we went all the way.
Sorry about that. I see a table. I gotta jump through it. It's a buffalo thing.
Watch as they move the chains of love.
I went for it on 4th down with the backup quarterback. That's how crazy I am for you. Don't worry. I brought protection. Do you mind if I feed you? You're so funny.
And penalty flags will fly.
Listen, why can't I get a couple words in here? No, you're not. Don't go on. You always say me because we've got Brady. But that's just what old people do. They move to Florida. You've never even been with the Super Bowl trophy before. You wouldn't even know what to do with her. I've seen videos.
And hearts will be broken.
I don't even care that she's been with 54 other teams.
But in the end, only one team will take home the trophy.
Me. Probably not me. But I'll try!
The Trophyette.
And I think we found the one TV show that Michael Strahan's not the host of. Speaking of Strahan, we bring him in once again to talk about his buddy Tom Brady from New York. You know
man,
what? We
where's your tie? Where's the tie?
last sack you ever had in your career was in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. You've even got, I can see up in the upper corner there, the Sports Illustrated cover, where you were able to stop Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think this has been kind of a hallmark thing in your career. You got a chance to sit down with a guy who's now your buddy.
Yeah, he's my friend, Kurt. And I got to say, that Fox 45, that was a funny piece, by the way. Whoever did that, very well done. Way to finish up our season. But, you know, that was the last sack of my career, and it was one that it wasn't the plays that was made during that game, so that Tom Brady and the Patriots, we kind of ruined their perfect season. He was not very happy about that. He kind of hated me. But in all seriousness, he is a good friend. He has turned it around. There's nothing short of amazing what he's doing. He looks like he's 24 instead of 43. And now he has this Bucs team on the verge of a Super Bowl. And if they can make it, it will be the first time a team in the NFL has a game at home for the Super Bowl. And if anybody can do that, it is Tom Brady. He is a man who's always making history. All right, this piece is started on a quote that you made saying,
I think there's one thing I definitely won't ever miss. I don't know if I'm going to see the cold weather outside of ski season.
Welcome to Green Bay, baby.
Here we go. I know. Let's figure this out. Come back to bite me a little bit, but if I'm going to be in the cold, Green Bay in January is a pretty good place to be.
I remember telling the guys, cold is temporary. Winning is forever.
I like that. We get an opportunity to do something about it. Sometimes you're never in this position, or sometimes, you work hard and, you get a bad bounce, or, sometimes you're injured. And this is a year where you got to take advantage because there's 4 really good football teams left.
Yeah, you said getting to the championship game is actually harder than the Super Bowl. What do you mean by that? Why do you think that's the case?
Win a road playoff game is a very difficult thing to do. Win a Super Bowl, neutral site, 2 weeks to prepare, a team you don't know very well. I think there's just a lot of familiarity with these interconference teams.
Nice job, boys. Way to hang in there. All day, just like that. Lob pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski, he makes the catch.
When you look at the schedule every year, you think, all right, Green Bay is going to be in it. Like they've been in every year since Aaron's been playing. And they've got a great defense. They got playmakers.
Sounds like you're kind of trying to butter them up a little bit if they see this.
You taught me better than anyone how to butter people up. Nobody could butter people up quite like you.
Brady takes the snap. Throws a deep ball downfield.
Have you really sat back and thought about this? Very little offseason, new players, new coaches, new city, COVID, all these adjustments, and you're one game away
from a Super Bowl. That really is amazing.
Yeah, that'd be amazing accomplishment. But you don't get to the championship game by winning one game.
Here we go.
You know, you've got to go the distance. You got to play 16. So if you want to go to the next step, you got to play great football against the best teams, and that's what the Packers are all about.
What kind of game, you against Aaron Rodgers, hand it off, run the ball, or do you want a passing shootout?
I like that. That would be pretty fun. I don't know. Look, I mean, he shoots it out as good as anybody, so, you know, he's an incredible player. The way he can throw the football, he's one of a kind. He's one of the great quarterbacks in NFL history. So it's one football game. We know there's a lot at stake. It's got to be our best football. It's got to be our best plays. And it's got to be everyone executing at their highest. The fact that we're in this position means we're prepared. We're 4 quarters away.
And one thing about Tom Brady, he keeps everything in perspective, and he's full of confidence. And there is no secret to why the Bucs are 1 game away from going to the Super Bowl. And it's because of this guy, Tom Brady. This is a team that had all the talent. They just didn't have the right perspective. They didn't have the right confidence. They didn't have the right leader. Now they have the right leader. And if he can lead them through this game, this could be one of the biggest accomplishments we ever seen out of any player in the NFL, to go from conference to conference, from team to team, and especially with all the troubles and all of the things you had to go through for this season, and to end up in this position, end up in a Super Bowl, would be the biggest accomplishment possibly of Tom Brady's career, Kurt.
Yeah, you know, he went to 9 Super Bowls with the Patriots. This may be more impressive by switching conference and all the things that Michael just talked about. And by the way, Michael, that was a great interview, Terry. I mean, just seeing Tom Brady just sit back, relax.
Exactly. Yeah,
well, that's him. That's him.
Yeah,
he made him comfortable.
I think the America will get an idea. Hey, that's a pretty cool guy, that Tom Brady. Obviously, I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't realize that he was such a big fan of mine, wearing my TB hat, my TB shirt.
Tom Brady. That's for Tom Brady.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. He is, to me, by far the best quarterback we've seen in the last 25 years. He has everything, both these quarterbacks do, but Tom, poise, leadership, just an amazing. Go back to the first Super Bowl 20 when they beat the Rams. He came in and let them down for the field goal. If you look at Carolina, he came down and led them to a field goal. He is just an amazing comeback player. Don't forget 2 years ago when Patrick Mahomes was the MVP in the league and thrown for 50 touchdown passes, who went into Kansas City and beat him? Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Today, I don't think it'd be any difference. There's no Eagles song. There's going to be a heartache tonight, and I think that heartache's going to be in Green Bay.
Ooh, we'll get the official pick in just a second.
That's some good stuff right there. Top that, big guy. Can you top that?
Hey, Terry, you said the best in the last 25 years. Well, what, did you play 26 years ago? Is that what it was?
I played 55 years ago, old man.
Hey, you look at this Tampa Bay offense, and they've had to make adjustments all year long. And that's understandable, you know, with new players, no preseason. You know, you look at it, you know, Brady struggled with the deep pass early on. Then Antonio Brown comes on, and they started getting the explosive plays. Now Antonio Brown's out. So the running game's going to be big. Fournette was new. Ronald Jones, he was injured. So the running game was inconsistent. You look at it against New Orleans, they only rushed for 8 yards. And then they struggled right before the bye week when they didn't run the football very well. Well, now they feel like they've got 2 runners that can really control the game. The running game will be big today, and they rushed in the playoffs right now, rushing for 135 yards a game. You know, they will have balance today, and that'll be a key for Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I think the key for this Tampa Bay defense, which is young, big, fast, athletic. Devin White's a great example. Watch him today. They sprinkle in a little Ndamukong Suh, who was looking to, I'm sure, reacquaint himself with Aaron Rodgers. Jason Pierre-Paul, Michael's old teammate. The key to this game for this defense is winning on first down. Everything revolves around protection, the deep balls that Green Bay gets, it all centers around the run game. And it's a three-headed monster at running back. And this defense, if they win on first down, they take away the play-action pass. For example, Aaron Rodgers, 22 of his 50 touchdowns are a byproduct of play-action pass.
You think Tampa Bay knows that?
Yeah, they do. But it comes down to stopping it.
Before we get these guys to give their official picks on both championship games today, time for us to give away another truck.
Huh?
Terry's Ford F-150. Last week we gave it to a woman named Terry who lives in Maryland. Now it's your chance. Someone is guaranteed to win. All you've got to do is download the Fox Super 6 app and play the game. Not only will someone win an F-150, someone else can win $500,000 in our picks contest. Let's get to the official picks, starting with the NFC Championship game. Jimmy, you go first. Who are you taking to go to the Super Bowl?
I've got Green Bay by 3 points, playing at home in the snow.
All right, Jimmy, I have Tampa by 7.
I'm going to go Tampa by 4.
Heartache tonight. You know who I'm going with. I'm going with Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the TB. Tom Brady.
Oh, that's a good choice. I'm going to go opposite of that. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think Green Bay is one of the most complete teams. That defense is playing really well. A lot of talk of the offense, but the defense is playing really well.
Hello, Tony Gonzalez.
Hey, guys. How are you guys?
Where did you get the championship game, Bills and Chiefs, Jimmy?
Kansas City by 7 at home.
Terry Bradshaw got his own initials. I just want to throw that in there. Kansas City by 9.
I'll go Buffalo by 4.
Buffalo by 3.
Do we even need to ask?
Do you need to? Viva los jefes. All right, Chiefs are going to win this game.
He's taking his Chiefs. That's later on. Up next, it's the NFC Championship game. Either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers is going to the Super Bowl. We'll find out.